if you're doing if you look at somebody like a Iman Ghazi, right? Iman Ghazi's got an insanely huge channel, very, very popular, few million subscribers. And last week he did a 3 or 4 part series where one video led to the next, to the next, to the next. So the AVP fee for a majority of people who watch that content was going to be 4 over the course of a week, which is huge. YouTube loves that because they get to serve more ads. People keep coming back to the platform. So that's one thing I say keep in mind when you're just starting. Now, that's a lot to think about. And so the second thing that I want to say is
I'm excited for you guys to check out today's video. It's actually being brought to you in partnership with Bootstrapping Redefined 2023. This is the 4th annual conference, and this year it focuses on leadership. If you're a leader in ministry, a leader in business, inspiring to be a leader, trying to figure out how do you grow your team and work better with them, this is the conference for you. Now, this conference has been in Virginia, it's been in Maryland. This year it's coming to Atlanta, Georgia. If you're anywhere close to the Atlanta metro area, definitely get your in-person seat right now. But maybe you can't get to Atlanta. We have virtual access, and the team over at Bootstrapping Redefined gave me a huge discount code. So make sure you check that out before all those codes are used up. I'm excited for this conference, get a chance to be a part of it. Again, great speakers, great lineup. Now, let's get over to the interview because you guys are really going to enjoy this one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Teach Me Tuesday. Today, we're going to talk a little YouTube. I have been a little biased toward the YouTube platform once it started working for me. So much so that it's pretty much the only platform I actually pay attention to. I actually read my comments. I try to respond back to all my comments. YouTube has been a great platform for me. My guest today, I met this guy a couple years ago on that trending app called Clubhouse, and he came in the room and was talking YouTube stuff, and I'm listening to this guy. I'm like, he knows what he's talking about. Then I kind of found out he has a big channel and another big channel, and he helps other people become big channels. He started another new channel that's grown really, really fast. I've watched all his videos there. My guy, Scott Simpson. What's going on? How you doing, man?
what's up, man? Excited to be talking to you again.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yes.
I love it.
Man, I remember you coming to a Clubhouse room. We're talking YouTube, and I started asking some questions. I don't know if you remember the conversation, and just like about my YouTube growth, and kind of just, was getting stagnant a little bit and trying to figure out how to kind of get it back going again. And you gave me some great information. And then I was like looking, Clubhouse room was interactive and nobody else was asking questions. So I was like, I'm going to keep asking questions. This guy knows what he's talking about. Scott, can you let people know, like, what got you into YouTube, and then kind of tell people where you're at right now with YouTube? Because I'm a fan of people that have done the thing.
Man, the story keeps evolving. So I want to back up. I'll back up to the beginning because it's like important to know exactly where I came from before I was even on YouTube, so that people kind of get the big picture. So my wife and I, we wrote 2 books in 2010 and 2011, personal development books. And I used to travel around and speak about the principles of those books. So I go to Rotary clubs and Chamber of Commerce meetings and businesses. They'd fly me places, and I used to speak on those. And so I had a lot of background talking to business owners and talking to businesses. In 2014, my wife was pregnant with my son, and she's like, "Hey, you can't travel anymore." And I was like, "Well, how am I supposed to get my message out there?" And so I pivoted over to YouTube, and I started creating personal development content on YouTube. How to build more confidence, how to be less insecure. And then I kind of got a little bit wild, my personality started coming out, and I started having fun with it. And then in end of 2014, my family and I were like, let's do a family vlog where we'll just share a positive message, because we wanted to do it pretty consistently. So we started the family vlog in 2014, built that up to the point in 2017 where we could go full time with YouTube. So we were full-time YouTubers from 2017 to 2019. And then in 2019, YouTube did their whole Admageddon thing where everybody's revenue coming from their channels took a hit and ours took a huge hit because the family space was like the primary space that was impacted. So I took all of the knowledge that I learned from growing our big YouTube channels at that time. We had two really decent sized YouTube channels, and I put it all back into working with business owners. There were a lot of people at that point who were like, "Hey, tell me what you're doing. How do I grow on YouTube? How do I get more leads for my real estate business, etc." And so I started doing that, and that's when our agency was born.
Okay.
And so from 2019 to now, I have been working with businesses, small and large, teaching them how to use YouTube to grow their business.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a longer story.
Oh no,
Sorry,
no,
Mike.
man! I
But,
love story time, man.
Context.
Yeah, I'm big on that. Anybody knows me is like context matters. Let me set the foundation, so because you might hear the big number, but you might not actually know how I got there. So if I can give you a little bit more value, then I think it's beneficial. You got a couple those plaque buttons and play buttons over there, don't you? How many of those you have, by the
Yeah.
way?
So right now I have five silvers and a gold, but I have two more silvers. I mean, in only one of these is mine. The rest of them are client channels. And then I have two more client channels that we just haven't gotten the plaques yet. I'm just like,
Nice.
I don't need a wall full of plaques,
So
but
it's
it's nice.
sufficient to say you're well versed in different types of channels on YouTube and how they grow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's kind of where I want to pick up is for people that are it's 2023, going into 2024, and they want to start YouTube. Like I've seen all the benefits, like the monetization, the exposure. I literally had someone reach out to me and ask me about live streaming services, and I sent them videos for my YouTube channel. I said, "This is like my resume sitting right here of what I can do."
Yeah.
For people that are looking to get started in YouTube, what are some like foundational things you can kind of tell them to think about and consider so that they're not just posting videos just to be posting videos?
So there's a couple of things. Like number one of the biggest metrics that YouTube uses to help grow a channel, or it's a YouTube looks at this specific analytical data point and says, okay, this channel is helping us accomplish our goal, YouTube's goal, and so we are going to help this channel accomplish their goal, growth. That's average view per viewer. It's a metric called average view per viewer, or AVPV. And basically what AVPV says is that a person it calculates how many videos a person watches on average over the span of a time from your channel, the span of time. So if you have an AVPV of 2 in 28 days, that means the average person comes back and watches they come to your channel and watch 2 videos in those 28 days. If you have an AVPV of 6, in 90 days, the average person watches 6 videos over the course of 90 days on your channel. The higher that number, the more likely it is that YouTube is going to start pushing you out because you're doing a really good job of keeping people on the platform. So the reason I say concern yourself with this from the beginning is because if you don't create content that brings people back, then you're not going to grow. And so a lot of the times, like when I think about, how can you do that? It's creating series or episodic type of content. If you look at somebody like a Iman Gadzhi, right? Iman Gadzhi's got an insanely huge channel, very, very popular, few million subscribers. And last week he did a 3 or 4 part series where one video led to the next, to the next, to the next. Mm-hmm. So the AVPV for a majority of people who watch that content was going to be 4 over the course of a week, which is huge. YouTube loves that because they get to serve more ads. People keep coming back to the platform. So that's one thing I say keep in mind when you're just starting. Now, that's a lot to think about. And so the second thing that I want to say is it's more important for you to just get started and stay consistent and learn how to become addicted to creating content than anything else. Because if you can't become addicted and to being a creator, if it doesn't hurt you to not upload, then you're going to burn out or you're going to quit. And so I tell people, like, establish that habit, establish that routine, but you really want to be thinking about if you can create a content strategy around episodic content, then you're going to be a winner on YouTube.
Yeah, I like that. You're giving me some ideas of some videos I want to do, and I don't want to do the whole content in one video. I want to spread it out, but having them come back, I'm thinking, okay, maybe my release schedule for how I want to do it is a little bit more condensed. So getting them to come back, because I know they need the next steps to do all of it together, and I can put it together in a 3-part series. So every time I talk to you, I got notes for myself.
There you go, man.
When I got started on YouTube, it was 2020, and I just remember like, okay, YouTube's gonna be my platform. I've seen everybody else post these videos that are similar to me that I know I can talk about. I've talked about it before on other platforms, but kind of a psychological thought. What is YouTube seem intimidating to me, Scott? Like, what have you seen?
Sure.
Like, is it just me, or is it just a platform? Like, I've done videos on other platforms. I've communicated on a platform. I know how to use social media. I've done video. I've done audio. But like when it came to like doing a YouTube video, I was just like intimidated for some reason.
I think that yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, YouTube is where video creators, like really good video creators, exist, right? You don't see really good video creators on LinkedIn, at least not anymore. You used, like when LinkedIn video first came out, like a lot of creators migrated over there, started producing really good content. Now the content's it's just kind of like average. And then every other platform there, I mean, Facebook was like, you didn't really post video on Facebook. So YouTube was like the only place where established creators would create. So I don't know if that may be intimidating to some people, but yeah, I mean, it is it's an intense platform, and there are a lot of ups and downs with YouTube, but it has fundamentally changed my life. And I know a lot of people who have turned their 6-figure businesses into 7- and 8-figure businesses with the power of YouTube. So it's hands down worth it. But yeah, you gotta amp yourself up.
Yeah, I do play me a little music sometimes before I hit the record button, kind of get myself in the groove, because it's definitely well worth it. I know every time I go and record and upload a video, something good happens. I either get leads. I never, when I started YouTube, Scott, I never thought about brand deals and sponsorships. It never even crossed my mind as something, as a way to monetize. Can you kind of talk about like just opportunities? I know you've got a lot, you work with people that have a lot, but like some of the doors that kind of open for people that just leverage, uploading videos on YouTube.
Yeah. So this is this is one of my favorite conversations. So when when we started, when we were in the heyday of our YouTube creation, we were getting between $1 and $3 CPM. So for every 1,000 views that we get on our channel, we would make between $1 and $3 in ad revenue. And so if we got 1 million views, we'd make $1,000 to $3,000. So my thought process was always like, how can I increase that? What are some ways that I can increase that? Because in different niches, like if you're a doctor, like Dr. Pimple Popper or somebody like that, you can make $50 to $70 per 1,000 views, or $50 to $80 per 1,000 views in some cases. We have a guy who has done, I think the highest I've seen is $88 per 1,000 views. So if he gets 1 million views on his channel, he's going to make $88,000. Mind blowing. But for somebody like me who's not a doctor, how can I make more money from an average channel? And I've always thought selling something is like the number one way to go. If you can sell something, anything, whether it's yours or somebody else's through affiliate links, if you can sell things, then you can increase your CPMs. And so what would happen is, like, say you sell, for every 1,000 views, you sell 2 $10 products, you make $20. Now your average CPM goes from $1 to $3 to $21 to $23, right? So now you've just 7x'd your your channel, like the value of each video or of every 1,000 views. So my philosophy in the businesses that we work with, we teach them how to use YouTube to sell their products and services. We've got a plumbing company. They do $2 to $3 million a year just in clicks to their website from
Wow.
YouTube. So leads that they generate from their YouTube channel. Now these guys are getting, a couple million views a month, but still, like, $2.5 million is like
Yeah.
that's nothing to to balk
Yeah.
at. It's a lot
I'll
of
take
money.
it. I'll take it.
So yeah, I mean, the opportunity is like, it's limitless. Like, the sky's the limit. I've got a buddy who just does affiliate links, and he made a couple videos for ClickFunnels, and sent a whole bunch of traffic over to ClickFunnels, and he makes 6 figures recurring revenue. He did those videos once, and he gets paid 6 figures every single year from the people who renew their services with ClickFunnels, because ClickFunnels is set up on recurring affiliate commissions. So if you have a deal with a software company that's like, we will pay you 50% of all of the traffic that you bring to us, all the sales you bring to us, forever, in perpetuity, man, now you own part of that company,
Yeah.
because they're going to pay you forever.
Yeah, I love the affiliate links in my videos now, and I remember learning about affiliate marketing and dabbling in it, but like the thing they forgot to tell you was, how do you get traffic? You need traffic, and so when I started
Yeah, yeah.
doing, I had made a couple videos about software that I liked and why I use it, how I use it, had the affiliate link, but did not think that. I looked at one yesterday because I was talking to someone about an example, and I've sent the person 4,000 referrals, the company 4,000 referral leads into their system, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that was off of one video, just talking about something that I like, and yeah, the affiliate traffic and the money compensation, that's nice. So, I was thinking about the people that I'm trying to encourage to use YouTube. We've talked about some of the opportunities and the growth. One of the things they get stuck on is some of the technicals. So I'll see if you can help us with that. Titles, graphics, descriptions. You got any frameworks or any tips to help us kind of figure out what do we do at that simple level, that core level? Because some of us aren't graphic designers, Scott. I know I'm not.
Well, the beauty of it is, right now in this generation, like, we've seen things go from no thumbnails to highly produced thumbnails to weird thumbnail. Like, we're in this stage right now where you really don't have to have a super polished thumbnail in order to get clicks, and the super polished thumbnails aren't driving. They're not as impactful as they used to be, because there's 100,000 people on. We were just talking about this before the chat. There's 100,000 people on Twitter offering their thumbnail design services, who have learned how to create thumbnails exactly like Mr. Beast. And so everybody's thumbnails now look like Mr. Beast. And so what is clickable when you have a sea of Mr. Beast thumbnails? The one that is basic.
Yeah.
And so now people are migrating back. It's kind of before the curve. So people are going to start migrating back to basic thumbnails, and then it'll follow another trajectory in a few years to higher, more highly produced thumbnails. But to the people who are concerned about not having those skills, there's 2 things that I have to say. Number one, don't let that hold you back from creating content. Like, there's AI editing software now that can chop up your content, make it super easy. Like Descript. Are you an affiliate of Descript,
Yeah, I am.
Monty?
I am.
Okay, click Monty's Descript
Yes.
affiliate in the description. Descript is one of the most powerful tools that I've ever used with editing, where I can load a piece of content into it, and I could say, remove all my filler words, and it'll cut out 80 times I say or I repeat the word that I just said. Like I just did it. It'll cut out one of those that I's, and then it'll have a seamless flow to it. And so if you're not an editor, no excuse. Get Descript. It's super cheap, and it's so powerful. Thumbnail designing as well. Like, we have Midjourney. Like, use Midjourney to build out the base of your thumbnail, and then put your face on top of it with a couple of words that are intriguing, that pique people's interest. There's AI title ideas. Go to ChatGPT and say, here's what my video is about. Better yet, take the transcript from Descript, send it to ChatGPT, say, this is what my video is about. Here's the transcript. Create 10 different title ideas for me. And ChatGPT will create title ideas for you. So there is literally no excuse for not producing
Yeah.
on YouTube anymore. It's so easy.
I literally had a moment earlier today because I was waiting on one of the videos to get finished edited from the editor, and it was done, and I didn't
Yeah.
see it was there. So I was like, okay, I got to get this video up because it was supposed to go up earlier in the week. And then I got to the title part, and I'm like, oh, I got stuck on the title. I was like, nothing I was coming up with was working. And I'm like, what am I doing? Let me go over here and put it in. Like, hey, create me some, like you just said, create me 10 title ideas. So I saw the title ideas, and I was like, okay, now I'm good to go. And I changed a couple variations of it. I'm like, perfect. Put it up there. I think right now, when I last checked, we jumped on, it was ranking third out of my last 10 uploads. So I was like, okay, so we'll continue to split test. But I'm like, why did I wait so long to just go over there and just get this going? But yeah, there's so many tools out there. Like, I just don't remember all these AI
Oh
tools
yeah.
being around in 2020 when I started.
You know what's crazy too is like I was listening to Lex Friedman podcast. And I don't remember who he was talking to. He was talking to somebody, some expert in AI, and they're like, what does the future of content look like?" And they were saying like AI is going to get so good that it will be able to create the perfect piece of content that will keep people, not only keep people engaged the entire time, but get people to want to watch it over and over and over and over again, like addicted to this piece of content. Because AI, when AI becomes powerful enough, it will have the power of a collective of the entire world population, right? Our entire, all of our cultures combined, all of humanity, plus anything adaptive that it can create from having a collective knowledge like that. And so AI is going to get to the point where it can create content or help us create content that is so incredibly powerful that we can't even fathom what it'll be able to do in the next, in the coming
Yeah,
decades.
yeah. I saw a website, and it was like you literally could type in any type of software you're looking for, and it'll give you back. If you're looking for video editing software, it gives you back. Podcasting AI gives you back. Like
Yeah.
transcription AI, thumbnails, images, graphics, like all these different tools just came back, and you just like click a button, like so all the options are sitting right there in front of us. So, yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing. I want to kind of talk personal about you, man. You started a new channel.
Sure. Yes.
I have been following your channel. I've watched every video except for the most recent one. I do
Okay.
give you thumbs up. I haven't commented on the videos, but I do give a thumbs up for all the videos. What's the thought process behind this new channel that you started, man? I am a fan of it.
The thought process behind it was I've been teaching YouTube for so long, working with business owners, and always kind of relying on the content or the success from our family channel to leverage that to close the deals and showcase some of our old strategies and things like that. But I had really been like missing an opportunity, I think, to speak to the business owners about creating business content. So the new channel, which is Raffiti, Raffiti, is like graffiti without the G, Raffiti, was that I wanted a channel where I could create business-oriented content, attract business-oriented community, and then kind of showcase what we're able to do. Just show what I teach in a more outward-facing way.
Yeah, I love when I watch the videos. Like I notice certain stuff right off the bat. I notice a thumbnail right off the bat. I'm like, yep, thumbnails look amazing. And then
Thanks,
like
man.
the way it's edited is so captivating. You had mentioned it earlier. Like your personality is in your videos. The jokes are in your videos.
Yes.
Like just the cadence of it, the cutaways to different references. Like there's so many. It keeps you wanting to watch it. So I have this big TV that sits behind my main workstation over there, and if I get distracted, like only a handful of y'all fall into this category. You're one of them, Scott. Like I will pause the video so I can like focus real quick, and then I'll come back to it, and it's left up there on the screen until I can finish the video. So, like I'm gonna link to the Scott's channel. I definitely encourage you guys to go and check it out because, like you said, it is teaching in real time. There's so many elements in it that I'm able to take and like, okay, yeah, maybe my intro took way too long to get started, and people are falling off, or it's boring to watch. If my own content gets boring to watch, then hold up, we got to go back and figure out a way to do something with the camera. Punch in or punch out, something so simple just to re-engage that viewer into the content. As we kind of, you got something, Scott, or did you have something on that?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, a lot of the purpose of the channel also is to experiment and try new things. So I try a lot of things in with audience retention. I try a lot of things with thumbnail design. I try things with titling. I'm always trying to learn, but I'm also educating at the same time. So I use the community tab to help educate more deeply on some of the things that I'm experimenting with in the videos. What's interesting though is just recently I've noticed that my AVPV on that channel is it's a 1.6 in 28 days. So no, the average isn't like a lot of people aren't coming back to watch more. So I threw a comment out there. It's like, why aren't you, if you've watched my channel once, why aren't you coming back? And I got a lot of really good feedback about that. But the point is community tab is an insanely powerful tool on YouTube that all creators, I believe, should be using to further engage with their with their audience in order to give them the best experience that they possibly can. So we've got a lot of like new things we're going to be working on this channel, and we've had a lot of like decent success so far, and so I'm excited to see where we can take it.
Yeah, I am too, man. Like I said, I watch the channel, so I get valuable tips from it all the time. I like how you mentioned the community tab. I've been trying to use mine a little bit more, and just getting that audience feedback in real time, because they definitely help shape how the content's created. I know my comment section, sometimes they definitely help me out as well. I've never really had like people ask for the next video or the follow-up until I had done a video. It was a little bit of, it was a change of style. I basically said equipment didn't work. It was brand new equipment. I got it, but I always have done like truly positive reviews, if you will. But this particular one is like, hey, I love this, but it's not working. And so it was kind of almost a negative connotation to it. It was a watch video. It ranked really well, but the comments surprised me because the comments were a little bit different. They were like, hey, have you fixed the issue yet? Is it working now? What did you do to fix it? And I was like, I haven't got that type of engagement, those types of comments. So it lets me know, hey, it's time to do a follow-up video on this, because people want to see that piece of content rather than me talking about something that they don't want to see. So
Yeah, your comment section will always tell you exactly what you should be creating. And I mean, if you do nothing other than create content based around what people are asking in your comments, you'll have a successful channel.
I was going to ask you for a final tip as we wrap up, but that sounded like a good one right there. But you got any more as people are like, okay, hey, you know what? They convinced me. I'm going to do YouTube. You got any tips to just help people like just do YouTube? Whether that's being consistent, because I know those first couple months for me, I was trying to do too much. My goal, Chris or Scott, was to do 3 YouTube videos a week initially. That's what I was going to do. Whew. Yeah, that faded real quick. But you got any tips for us as we get started off so we don't go into that burnout in week 1?
Yeah, so I got a couple of tips. Number one is I always say don't post more than 3 videos a week. Don't post less than 1 video a week. So find a happy medium that works for you. And then most likely the content that you want to create has already been created by somebody else, or at least the topics and ideas. So go and do content research before you ever press record. Know exactly what topics are fire and what aren't, so that way you can double down on the things that get views. The last thing that I want to say is, one of the things that I think was most impactful for our business, that took our business from 6 figures to over 7 figures, was being confident and comfortable in who I am and my authentic self. And there's a great quote by Dan Kennedy. He says, if you're not offending somebody by lunch every day, you're not marketing hard enough. And the reason that I love that so much is because it gave me permission to be authentically me, knowing that it's not going to jive with everybody, but it's going to jive with the people who are my people, who are my audience. So I know that I make people mad. I can't help that. But I also know that it draws me closer to the people that I want to be friends with, that I want to be fans, that I want to be my fans, that I want to work with. And so if you can just be authentic and not really care about what other people think, but know that you're refining and searching for that ideal audience avatar, then you're going to crush it.
Yeah, yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, you just every time I talk to you, man, I have ideas now just how to improve. Like, and you watching, like I said, watching your channel is like, oh, that's something I never even thought about. So seeing those examples in real time and actually being able to know like who that person is behind the camera that's doing that, like it's not just a YouTuber. I know that that's Scott right there. You know, I know that guy. So it's pretty the lens of how I look at YouTube is different than when I first started, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you for being here, man. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your insightful tips and tools. Love hearing the story, man, of just how you got started on the platform and where you're at now. I will continue to follow you, man. I'm going to link to all of your information
Thanks,
down
man.
below so people can go and check you out. Any last words before you jump out of here, Scott, and get back to hitting the record button?
You know what, man? I'm just grateful for people like you in the community. Like, appreciate you reaching out. It's when I got your email, I was like, dude, Monty, I haven't talked to Monty in forever. So it's great hearing from you, and thanks so much for thinking of me.
Awesome. I know you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Teach Me Tuesday. If you haven't started your YouTube channel, go start it. If you have a YouTube channel, put that in the comments section. We want to go check it out, see what you guys are up to. With that, I'll see you guys next week.